So if you watched any of my Turkey travel videos so far, you will know I absolutely love the country. And if this is your first time watching any of my Turkey travel videos, I can tell you that I absolutely love the country, and you can check out the rest of the videos after this one. But in this video, I'm going to give you 10 reasons why you should make Turkey your next travel destination in 2022. So starting off with reason number one, it is currently winter, and here in the UK you might be experiencing a similar thing. It is absolutely freezing, so if you want to head to Turkey to get some winter sun or even into the spring, you won't go far wrong with the Turkish coast, particularly around Antalya. You might not get the same temperatures as, say, the Canary Islands or Morocco, but you will get more sunny days than not, and you can get some winter sun, particularly if you head there during like the end of February, early March into April. You will get some very, very nice weather. Now, the second reason you should head to Turkey in 2022 is if you are already in Europe, there are some very affordable flights from pretty much every country in Europe to Turkey. Pretty much all the European budget airlines like EasyJet and so on do actually fly to Turkey, and Turkey have some really good airlines themselves. I flew with Pegasus Airlines and with Turkish Airlines, but within the country. I actually flew with Pegasus from Istanbul back to Manchester at a very reasonable price, and I believe Pegasus fly to pretty much all the major European cities, so there are some very affordable flights that you can find going to Turkey any time of the year. Now, one of the best things Turkey does have to offer is its food and drink, whether it's breakfast, lunch, dinner, Turkish coffee, or particularly Turkish tea. It is some of the best cuisine I've experienced so far, and it's something that you guys definitely have to experience yourselves. Now, it will be a crime of me to make this video and not mention the hospitality of the Turkish people, and particularly to mention it further down the list, so I am including it quite high up. The Turkish people were so welcoming in their country, particularly given everything over the last couple of years where there's not been many tourists. I think they were very happy to see tourists returning to the country, and they could not do enough for you, whether it be just recommendations for certain places, or whether it be helping you out, or the amount of times I was in a cafe or a restaurant, had some food, and they would just supply you with endless amounts of Turkish tea. It was so nice and so welcoming. It made travelling Turkey much more enjoyable. Now, as I mentioned, most people head to Turkey for the amazing weather or the amazing food, but beyond all of that, Turkey actually has a lot of history in pretty much every place you travel. One of the best things that I found is how passionate the Turkish people were, not only about their country, but about whether it be their local town or city or the place that they've come from. A lot of people you will find were born in a different part of the country and then moved to more touristy places to obviously be involved in the tourism industry, but they are so passionate about their country and always have some amazing stories to tell about the history of Turkey. Now, you might be like me and not overly keen on history, but you like to experience some of it. And if history isn't your thing, Turkey still has some stunning places to offer, like Istanbul, Pamukkale, and Cappadocia being my 3 favourite places I visited. Now, backpackers, you will be happy to know Turkey is one of the best and easiest backpacking destinations I've experienced so far. Wherever you travel in the country, there will be tons of accommodation options, whether it be hostels or reasonably affordable hotels, guest houses, and even a very unique experience. This doesn't just go for backpackers, but you can actually visit and stay in some tree houses along the Turkish coast. Now, the time of year I visited, not all of them were open, which meant there was limited availability in the ones that were, and a very high demand, so I didn't actually get to experience it. But from the people that did, and the people I've spoke to, they said it was a very unique experience. And if you are visiting during the summer months, there are tons of options along the coast, and it's something you have to check out. Now, the next reason isn't just for backpackers, but I know backpackers will like this, and that the nightlife in Turkey is very much alive and well. Obviously, this will depend on travel restrictions and government restrictions at the time, and even the time of year that you are visiting. In November, it wasn't as busy as, say, during the summer months, but particularly in Antalya, Fethiye, and Istanbul, I did notice there were a number of good places to enjoy the nightlife that Turkey has to offer. Now, one of the main reasons I actually chose to travel Turkey at the end of 2021 was how easy it was to actually travel around the country. Now, as a backpacker, I love adventure. I love nothing more than having to do research on places and trying to figure out the best ways to travel from city to city, or, you know, getting very local buses, which is something I did also do in Turkey. But in Turkey, you will find that the transport system is incredible, whether it be buses, trains, or, as I said, local buses. You can even fly from city to city at very reasonable prices. It is, in fact, a very easy country to travel around. Having said that, all you will have to do is pull up a map of the country to realize how big it is. And as I mentioned, you can fly between cities, and that is because it is a huge country to travel. And one of the main advantages of that are there are so many different things you can experience across the country, whether it be beaches, mountains, or big cities. You've got it all, and I didn't even explore the eastern part of the country. Most people travel along the south and then the west coast before heading to Cappadocia and Istanbul, which is the route I took. But if you want an even better adventure and explore some of the less travelled parts of the country, you can head to the eastern part of Turkey for even more different landscapes. You've got such a variety of different places you can explore across the country. And finally, I could not make this video without mentioning Istanbul, so I have dedicated a completely separate reason. The reason number 10 that you should visit Turkey is purely for Istanbul. Now, personally, I am not a fan of big, crowded, noisy cities, but with Istanbul, I certainly made an exception because it was one of my favourite cities I've visited so far on my travelling. Now, don't get me wrong, I spoke to a lot of locals who live in Istanbul, and they said they don't actually enjoy it, which I can perfectly understand. It's probably the same for people here in the UK. I'm not from London, but I enjoy visiting London, but I could imagine that living there would be an absolute nightmare just because of how big and crowded the city is, and I can understand why people might say the same about Istanbul if you live there. However, as a tourist visiting Turkey, it is definitely my number one place to visit. From the history, to the architecture, to the food, the city will always have something new to offer without ever having to go down the same street twice. Now, I spent 6 days in Istanbul, which was nowhere near enough. I probably could have done 6 months and still not have got bored of the city. It just had so much to offer, and it was such a fun time exploring. Now, if you enjoyed this video and want to see more Turkey travel videos, there will be a link on screen right now to the playlist for all of my Turkey travel videos, and it will be in the description box below.